Tennis. When you say that word around southwest Iowa, you might get a few funny looks in some areas. Other than Red Oak, who's usually making their annual trip to the Final Four, both boys and girls in tennis, you don't hear much about tennis in this area. That's because the other side of the state kind of dominates the state tennis tournament. One time in the history of the Hawkeye 10 Conference girls tournament has there been a state singles champion. Just one time in the history of tennis and in the state of Iowa. But there's a burgeoning superstar in Council Bluffs. She goes to Lewis Central High School, and she might be the next state singles champion. She's just a sophomore, and her name is Abby Bergsten. She won the Hawkeye 10 Conference Championship when she was a freshman. She won it this year as a sophomore. She went to state as a freshman. She's going again later this week as a sophomore. So, it's Wednesday. The Wednesday word is upon us. And I thought I would maybe go to Council Bluffs, to Lewis Central's tennis courts, talk with Abby Bergsten. Many of you know Abby, who've played against her. You know her as a fiery individual, a ultimate competitor. I love it, honestly. Some of you may not, but it's something you might not always see in girls' sports, or expect from girls' sports, I guess, and maybe that's wrong of us. Boys' side, always see competitors and fiery individuals. No problem with that. That's why I don't have a problem with Abby Bergsten, and I was happy to talk with her. A very, very good player, a great individual, an ultimate competitor. And that is the word for the Wednesday word this week, competitor. Abby Bergsten, Lewis Central sophomore, heading to the state's tennis tournament for the second consecutive year. Abby, first of all, I guess, just kind of talk about going back a second time. I know you went last year as a freshman and kind of got the lay of the land, won a match, a couple matches there. Tell us about heading back this year, and I guess what did you learn from last year?
Last year was just a good experience for me, and there's so many people there, and it's all good competition, so it just shows you need to work really hard the 2 weeks before you go. So
definitely. I know last year I think you won your first match, maybe lost one, then maybe won another one. Kind of went win-loss, win-loss. And would you end up 8th or so?
8th, yep.
Talk about your performance. How'd you feel your first time there? How'd you feel you ended up performing there?
At first I was pretty nervous, but I know like the second day my wrist was kind of bothering me, so that wasn't my best game that day. But
you've like I said, in learning through that first time, maybe what is something you maybe go in there mentally anyway, going in there with, maybe something you'll do a little differently this time around?
Just play my game the whole time, and if I lose, I just want to lose playing my game, not go to my opponent's level so much.
Let's talk a little bit about your game then a little bit. Tell us what your strengths are, weaknesses that maybe you've been working on. We'll start with the strengths.
Any short balls, I guess, that just put those away, and then I don't know, sometimes come to the net, puts the waypoint like faster. And weaknesses, I've just been working on my slice, but it's getting better.
Good. What about first serve? First serve, pretty powerful?
Yeah, I've been working on that a lot too.
I suppose you got a pretty good height frame. I suppose you can kind of cover a lot of ground as well. Is that something that maybe you have advantage-wise over some of the others that you faced in this area at least?
Yeah, definitely.
Tell us a little bit about your season here. I know this side of the state we don't have a ton of tennis just because we don't have the indoor facilities other than Red Oak and stuff like that. But talk about the season you've had. I don't think you've lost a set at this point. Tell us how you feel your season's gone. So
far, so good. But yeah, like on this side, we only play the 1A schools. So the first time I played anyone from 2A was at districts. So.
Kay Walker's kind of been a nemesis of yours. She's in your same class from Red Oak, and you played her in this Hawkeye 10 championship last year. Played her again this year. Talk about your rivalry with her and what that's been like in pushing you.
Yeah, that's definitely the most competition out of my regular season, and I'm always looking forward to that. So.
You guys get along?
Sometimes, yeah.
I know last year there was. Well, both of you guys are ultimate competitors, and I love that. I'm not for people that are all nicey and stuff like that. I love people that love to win and stuff like that. I guess talk about you out there on the court. You don't take gruff from anybody, do you?
No.
Can you talk about where that comes from? Is that something you got from your dad or your mom, or where did that come from?
I don't know. I guess I don't know.
Well, I honestly, I'm not an Avalanche, and you're saying it. I like it. I love the competitiveness, competitive drive, and stuff like that. But let's take a look at. You're also a great volleyball player, and we were saying there a little earlier that volleyball kind of goes hand in hand with tennis and stuff like that. Can you tell us where that kind of helps you in the two sports and where those go hand in hand?
Definitely your eye-hand coordination. It's like the major thing, and like the serve motions, both the same, and the timing on things. Yeah,
the serve is one that experts have said, or have told me anyway, that is something. If you serve in tennis, make you a good server in volleyball. Are they full of it, or is that true?
I think that's pretty true.
Okay, where does that work?
I guess just like the L motion is the same, and the contact point.
All right, going ahead now to your sophomore season here at the state tennis tournament. Going to be playing next week, Thursday and Friday. Hopefully, well, we'll say you'll be playing Thursday and Friday, but I guess you got to look at your opponent. You probably don't know anything about her. She's from Ames, but I guess what do you do to kind of scout and go into this, or is it just playing your game?
Yeah, I play my game, and then sometimes I'll go and look at records and who they've played and see if we played any of the same people and kind of compare scores and stuff.
A couple of those higher seeds, I think the 4 seed and the 2 seed were your losses last year in this year's tournament. So what are your goals at this point? I know we just now saw your draw, but what are your goals here coming in?
Well, I know I've played them over the off season sometimes, and I know from last year what I need to work on to beat them. So hopefully I'm on that day and pull out a win.
I don't want to. You don't need to reveal any secrets. But what is it that maybe you needed to work on to beat those girls?
Well, last year I didn't really hit like a hard first serve, and then this year I've been doing that. And then just my strokes, getting them better and placing them in better places. So
it's a whole different game there, isn't it? Going from here to there. And obviously you've got the great game. You just aren't used to seeing the competition. But your dad, 1988, 25 years ago, 25-year anniversary this year, he went to the state tournament, finished second. I think this is the highest finish in Lewis Central history, either girls or boys. Does he ever tell you about those great times, those glory days of his?
Yeah, definitely. Talk about it a lot.
He talks about it a lot. What does he tell you about those situations?
He just told me all about his experience there, and just I don't know.
I know he's a big part of your life, and as far as tennis goes, he's an assistant coach for Lewis Central, and he coaches you and puts you through some big drills here. Tell us about your workouts with him. Are they pretty intense?
Yeah, he makes me work hard a lot.
What kind of stuff do you guys do?
We do some running stuff, and I do all my running outside. So when I come out to the courts, it's all hitting, but just a lot of reps.
Very good. Abby, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck, and hopefully they bring home a championship. How about that?
Boy.
All right. Thanks a lot.